Hello everyone, I am Ashwini Saurabh Mehtras from Department of Statistics, RBNB College, Srirampur. So in today's lecture, we will study what is population and sample. Also, we will study how the sampling is done from the given population. So let's see the first point, which is population. Population is an aggregate of objects or units under study is called population. For example, if we want to study the industries, then in particular area the number of industries are there and they all are contained in our population. The second example may be, suppose we are interested to study the result of any college. Then the total number of students or aggregate of students in that college, and we can take their marks. So this is our population. Actually, population is not always the number of people. It can be the objects. So I am writing the definition. So when we do an experiment, then in that experiment an aggregate of individuals or objects under study are called as the population. For example, suppose we are going to collect the information from any village related to the income. So each family is our population. The next example is, suppose we are interested in an agriculture project. Then in agriculture the every cultivated farm is our population. So in that way it may be number of individuals or objects under study. Or while studying the manufacturing of a bulb in an industry, then the bulbs produced in at a particular time may be our population. So this is all about the population, and the very famous example of taking the population is census method. So statistical population while taking data from population, we may have our quantitative or qualitative characteristics. So these types are covered in my last lecture. So what is qualitative? It may be the characteristic which cannot be measured in numbers, and the quantitative characteristics which can be measured in numbers. So these types may be included in our population. So that kind of population is called as the statistical population, and the method is census method. So as we know, after each 10 years the census method is conducted, and the information regarding to many variables is taken from the individual population. So this is the census method, means in this method all the data are collected regarding to that population. But this is not always possible to collect all the data. There are some limitations of this census method. So the limitations are, first is it is very expensive. So if we have huge data, then this method may be very expensive and it will take a lot of time, lot of efforts to take all the information about the data or from the population. So this is the first limitation of census method. The second limitation is in census method it is possible to collect the data from individuals, but it is impracticable. For example, suppose we are interested in doing the blood test, okay, and we can't take all the blood from the body. So it is not possible. It is possible, but it is not practicable. So in that case, census method fails. So this is the second limitation. Or the next example may be, suppose we are interested in studying the life of a bulb, and while we take up all the population of bulbs, we measure their life, then all bulbs will be destroyed. So this is not possible to take the life of each or to measure the life of each bulb. So in that case also the census method fails. So this is the second limitation. Also while testing the explosive items or explosive objects, it is not possible to take every object in that population. We can't study each and every object from that population. And the last limitation is so when there is an infinite population. For example, if we are interested in studying the number of stars, then there are infinite number of stars. So we can't study each and every star in that case. So in this method also census method fails. So these are some limitations of census method. That's why we go for the next point, which is the sampling. Before that, I want to tell you that this population may be finite or infinite, and based on that we called it as a finite population or infinite population. And for the infinite population, and when census method fails, we go for the sample. What is sample? Let's see. So it is any subpart from the population is called sample. So this is a very famous method, that is we take any small part of the population which contains all the features of that populations. They are all features are covered from that sample, and by studying only that particular sample we can predict about the population and we can give the results related to that population. So this is the definition of sample, and the examples are, so my first example is, suppose we are interested in studying the result of college. Then the college may have many number of students, and if we are if it is not possible to take each and every student's mark, then we go for the sample. Means we collect the information from some students, that is any part of that population. That is, suppose there are n numbers of students in that college, then we take only small n number, which is the part of that n, and we will study only these n number of students, and we will give the results related to the result of that college. So this is the first example. The second example is, so this is the in testing of blood, only few drops of blood are enough to study the blood test. So few drops of blood are our sample. Or while studying any industrial product, we can take some part of that production, which is called as the sample. So in some cases, sampling becomes inevitable. For example, this case. So in this case, sampling is very necessary because we can't study all the population in this case. Also, while studying the quality of grain, so third is quality of grain can be tested by taking only handful amount of grain, and we can check whether that grain is of what quality. So this is the type of sample. For example, the grain may be wheat. Okay, so wheat or rice. So from a lot of that, we can take only handful of that grain and check the quality of that grain. The next example is housewife tests the food whether it is cooked, properly cooked or not, by taking only few particles from that cooking food, and she makes a decision about whether the population, that is whether the food is properly cooked or not. So this is the sample. So these are all examples of sample. Here it is the concept of population and sample. So it is clear from this picture. Suppose there are capital N number of units in the population, then we can select small n number of units from that population in this way. So this is the method, and this sampling method is very famous, and it is less time consuming also. So there are some properties or some benefits, we can call it as advantages of this sampling over the population. Let's see one by one. So first is, we will have reduced cost. Means in the case of census method, we have to study each and every objects. That's why we will need more machinery, more number of staff. So we will need the more cost. But when we are going to the sampling method, only few objects are to be studied. That's why it will reduce our cost of the experiment. So this is the first advantage. The second is reduced time. So as we know, in census method, all objects, study of all objects will take the large amount of time also. But in sampling method, only few numbers of individuals or objects are to be studied. That's why our time will be reduced, and in a short period we can take the sample. So third is it has a greater scope. Greater scope means as we learned the example about the taking blood test. Okay, so we take only few drops. So this will have a greater scope because we are taking only small part of the population. The next is greater accuracy. Means while studying all census or all population, it will need the more machinery and more number of investigators or workers. But in a sample, we need only few machinery and only few workers, and there is a less number of observations to be studied and less number of data are to be collected. That's why it will take the more accuracy, because only few observations are to be taken and investigator will take them with the greater accuracy. So these are the advantages of sampling over the census method. So the next point is what is actually sampling. So as we know the definition of sampling, we can see that this sampling means taking any part from the population is called as the sampling. So what is sampling unit? So we are taking the observations from population, and each part of that population, each unit is called as the sampling unit, which is to be sampled. So we may make the groups of observations which contains all the features for the population unit, and after that we can take the sample from that population. So this is called as the sampling unit. So unit which is to be sampled, we can say in this way also. So here I will take one example. So while studying the life of bulb, each bulb is our sampling unit which is to be sampled. Or if we are going to study the income of a village, then we will take the families as a sampling unit. So these are some examples. Or also one more example is while studying the result of college, each student may be our sampling unit which are to be sampled. The next point is sampling frame. Sampling frame means it is the list of observations from the population which is available is called as the sampling frame. So it is the list of So it will provide us the guidelines while we are doing the sampling. It will provide us the guidelines, so how to select the sample from the given population. If the list is available, we can easily take the sample. So in a Gram Panchayat, for the earlier example, we can take the list of families in that village, and we can take the information from that families which are to be sampled. So that list is called as the sampling frame. Or in any industry, production of any object or a production of any unit, the sampling frame is available to them. So we can take the sampling frame from them, that is the number of lots produced, etc., and then we can go to the sampling. So these are the points: sampling unit and sampling frame related to the sampling method. So there are many types of doing sampling. Let's see one by one. So let's see first non-random sampling. Means if we are taking any convenient sample or any sample by our judgment, so these kind of samples are included in a non-random sampling. For example, if we are interested in a study of a particular disease which is very rare and it is founded in some areas only, so we have to take the all population or related patients only as our sample, because the population itself consists of very small number of units. So that may be the non-random sampling. Or if we are interested in a particular type of students only, I will take that students only in my sample. So this is as for my convenience. So this is included in the non-random sampling. Actually it is the type in which there is biasness. So they are called as the non-random sampling. There are many non-random sampling methods also. They are quota sampling, or convenience or judgment method sampling. So these are some types of this non-random sampling. Actually we are interested in this random sampling. In general we use the random sampling. There are many methods of the random sampling and many types, such as simple random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic, and cluster. So there are many methods, but let's see some of these. They are simple random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. So in each method there is a particular method by which we collect the sample from the given observation to be, or from the given population to be studied. Okay, so there is a particular method for each of these sampling cases. So let's see first, which is a SRS. There are two types of simple random sampling. They are simple random sampling without replacement and simple random sampling with replacement, means SRSWR and SRSWOR. So before that, what is exactly this means? So random sampling. Random means we can take the observation without doing any bias. So these random numbers are generated by many methods. So there are the methods. So we will see this random sampling and its methods in a next video lecture. Before that, we will see how we can generate the random numbers. So for having randomness, we can generate the random numbers by different methods. So first is lottery method. So in the lottery method, we make the n number of slips and we can take the small n number of slips from that. So at first, we take the capital N number of slips. For example, 1 to 100 number of slips are there and we are interested in taking 2 or 3 number of slips from that. So first we will make a lot. In that lot, we will put the n number of slips of equal size and shape. We can do the numbering on that slip. We make it as equal size and shape for the unbiasedness, and we put that slips in a lot. Then this is our population actually. Then we are going to take one by one small n number of slips from that. So it is the random numbers or which will generate our random numbers. So this is the lottery method, which is actually very famous. Then the second method is from computers. We can generate the random numbers, or random number table are available. So there are random number table are available, and we can go to that table and select the numbers randomly. And the third method, we can use many softwares also, such as we can use Excel. So in Excel, in MS Excel, there is a function fx on the top of the that worksheet, and we can select fx, then go to the math and trig option, and then select rand between. So by these methods, we can generate the random numbers from the given population, or we can select any random numbers for our study. So these are the methods of generation of random numbers. In next lecture, we will study the methods of sampling and in what case and how the sampling is done. Hope you enjoyed my today's lecture. Thank you.